Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to USVA SOL Review by Standard. I'm glad that you guys keep coming back and this is really helping you out. Today's standard is going to be very quick, short to the point, and I think a lot of it's going to be review from last year in World History 2. So I'm hoping to be able to get through this kind of quickly, and you should be able to understand it quite a bit, because today we are talking about Standard 9A and B, which is U.S. imperialism and our involvement in World War I. So without further ado, here again is your little sneak peek at what you need to know. Again, that is this column right here. Okay, if you need to take a picture, go ahead and do so now. And then here is the other part of the Standard 9B, that is. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. So the first part of the standard is imperialism, and that's specific to the United States. So the first part of that is the creation of international markets, meaning we're going to go out into different places in the world, specifically in Latin America, and we're going to start trading, specifically selling things with them, and getting into an opportunistic relationship for ourselves. Part of that is going to China with Secretary of State John Hay, and he proposes this open door policy, essentially opening up China to trade, and in hopes that China was going to trade almost specifically with us. At the time, China was very inward. They did not trade with just about anybody. They thought that their world, their life was everything that they needed. So John Hay is going to be going in to China and opening it up. Another thing that you need to know specifically is dollar diplomacy. The idea that President Taft wanted to open up markets in Latin America, and if we did that, then we would. If we did that, then we'd be making a lot of money. We'd have a lot of control in Latin America, and if not, that the unrest there would threaten the investments. Another idea is that this global economy is starting to emerge, and we wanted to be heading that, so that we were sort of gaining ground in the way of this global economy. Specifically to this imperialistic idea that we're going and being that bigger country that takes over a smaller country, we're going to get involved in the Spanish American War. And we are going to use yellow journalism to get into this war after the sinking of the USS Maine. Think Maine, Spain here. And we're going to annex Puerto Rico, and then intervene rights into Cuba, eventually gain the Philippines and Guam as well. We're also going to adopt this policy of gaining the control of the Panama Canal, after influencing Panama gain independence from Colombia. We eventually say, hey, get your independence from Colombia. By the way, we'll help you build the canal, but we're going to control it. And this helps us gain a major trade route from the eastern part of the coast to the western part. Specific to Asia and the Pacific, we are going to essentially gain Hawaii after doing much of what we did in Panama, coming in, overthrowing the government, the monarchy there, taking down the last queen, and then annexing Hawaii for ourselves. We're eventually going to put a military base there, and it will eventually become one of the 50 states in the country. We're going to annex the Philippines after the Spanish-American War, after the horrible and gruesome things that went on there during the war. And then, again, going back to open door policy, urging all foreigners in China to obey Chinese law and fair competition there. All right, moving on next into the last part, which is the United States involvement in World War I. We are going to sort of stay as watchers of World War I until 1917. So we don't get mixed up with the alliances going on. We stay neutral, we stay isolated, and we foot the bill for a lot of the war, which is going to help us later. Like I said, we're going to remain neutral there. Decision to enter war is going to result from the unrestricted submarine warfare that's going on by Germany, sinking of the Lusitania, which had some American soldiers on it, and the Zimmerman telegram or Zimmerman note, which is a note from Germany to Mexico, allegedly stating that if Mexico helps, they will be given land by Germany. Americans do join, and Wilson, even though running on not getting into the war, will eventually get into the war, and stating that he wants to make the world safe for democracy. So we're going to go in there, and our resources and soldiers and fresh start sort of aids and catalyzes the war effort, and it ends a couple of months after we join and we defeat Germany. After the war, Woodrow Wilson adopts his 14 points, which is his policy for maintaining this everlasting peace. Those key points are self-determination, the right that countries should be able to determine their own set of rules, laws, and borders. Again, democracy. Freedom of the seas, so no unrestricted warfare there. Germany can't do that anymore. The mandate system, which is a way to get rid of imperial rule. And then this adoption of the League of Nations, an international peacekeeping organization that will keep peace forever, with a set of rules and guidelines and making sure that we're checking each other. Treaty of Versailles, on the other hand, is not going to adopt very many of these policies. The French and the English want to punish Germany. They fought for 4 years against Germany, lost millions of soldiers each, and want to blame somebody for the war, want to make people pay for the war. The League of Nations, one of the only points that Woodrow Wilson does get put into the Treaty of Versailles, is created, and then new national boundaries are going to be redrawn. Europe is going to be split up once again after World War I. New countries are going to be formed, and that's basically out of cultural and lingual necessity. The League of Nations is adopted. However, the United States never joins because the Senate disagrees with the fact that an international organization is going to dictate our foreign policy. We want to dictate our own foreign policy. We emerge World War I as one of the, if not the strongest nation in the world, both economically and politically and militarily, and therefore we want to sort of decide everything else. We turn back to an isolated state, and we do not want, therefore, somebody else dictating what we want, and we don't sign the Treaty of Versailles. We don't join the League of Nations. All right, that is it for new information. As promised, I will give you this one exercise. What you should do with this is take a look, and then with this Venn diagram here, put the things on each side, both comparing and contrasting them. So the way you should set this up is on this side, you should do Wilson's 14 points. This side, you should do Treaty of Versailles. And then in the middle of a Venn diagram, you always put the similarities. That's where I suggest you start, is the similarities here. See what the Treaty of Versailles adopted out of Wilson's points, and then go back and see how many things are actually different there. So I'll go back here. I'll leave you with that. And then that is going to be everything. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for standard number 9, A and B, the U.S.'s involvement in World War I and U.S. imperialism. All right, hope everything helped. I hope that you enjoyed this, and it was a short one, so good luck.